I think that, like, also, when so much of this is social media these days, but it's one of those things where, you're scrolling through social media and you're like, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, this whole thing. And so I've noticed with a lot of the people who are like, all lives matter, stop being so sensitive about Aunt Jemima, and, this whole thing. And I think that there's so many people who are scared that they are racist or that they are biased, and
they don't want to sit in that.
They don't want to sit
like,
in what's uncomfortable.
Everyone's important. Everyone is important. That's not what anyone's saying. Is that, like, everyone's not important. I'm not saying everybody else should drop dead or, like, blacks are the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're pretty awesome, but we're not, like, better than anybody else. The thing is that when you realize that maybe someone hasn't been given the same chances as you in life, purely based off the color of their skin, that maybe sometimes people are looked at different or passed over for a job, or, you know what I mean, stereotyped a certain way. That's what I think more of the movement is. I'm not saying everyone should change everything about themselves and, like, be pro-black all the things all the time. It's just taking some time to realize that some people have a different life walk than you, and it's based purely off the color of their skin, and it's not necessarily how they want it. It was not that long ago that for me to be married to a white gentleman, you know what I mean, was illegal.
Yeah, it was like the 60s.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or that, you know what I mean, the schools were segregated. There are still schools in the South that are completely segregated. There are schools that aren't segregated and still have segregated dances, segregated proms, that don't, you know what I mean? That happens to this day.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so...
How do we not know this? How is this not...
Yeah, I mean, and it's
because we're white and we live in this little tiny fucking town.
And see, that's one of the things that, like, we've done differently. Once with this information coming in, and then we saw our son who we were watching. I don't remember which one we were watching, but we have been taking those steps to educate ourselves. And what can we learn? Where's the differences that we can make? Not sitting back and saying, okay, tell me what I should do. We're being proactive on finding what we can do. And then when we have tried to include our son in it, our words fell out of his mouth. He's like, I'm not a racist. I'm a good person, so I'm okay. And then it was like, okay. So we're going to talk about not being a racist and being anti-racist. And so really educating him from the information that we're getting and seeing how things are changing, and then watching him process that and seeing those realizations happen in our child. It's just, I'm so happy that that we're breaking that cycle and that he's going to see it differently. But I'm just heartbroken that we have been so blind, and that so much has, just because we are not doing it, how much us not knowing, and just how much pain we cause, how much ignorance is so damaging. And I can't believe all I didn't know.
That ignorance is just kind of like pushed on people is the thing.
Yeah.
It's that you
I agree with
keep
that.
people ignorant, and as the United States in general, you keep people ignorant, you keep them complacent.
Yeah.
You keep it happy and you have your happy life and everyone's doing the same thing. You know what I mean? When things start bubbling, you see how angry people get over a protest. And it doesn't even have to be like the looting and all of those other things. A protest. I see people getting so upset over, why are we doing this in David? Right? It's like, why do you have to Black Forest South for your freedoms? You know what I mean? Like those kind of things. Like, it's like, what does that have to, like, oh God, it takes you 10 more minutes to get to the grocery store. You know what I mean? But there are people that, you know what I mean, won't make it to the grocery store because they were shot for walking down the street for the color of their skin. They will never get to be able to make that walk. That people that lose their kids all the time. I read these stories to the point where it brings me to tears.
There's things I can't even watch.
I don't watch them anymore.
Yeah.
I have Black brothers. I have Black nephews. You know what I mean? And I watch these kids. I watch these young kids that have been murdered for no reason. And not just by, you know what I mean? The Trayvon Martins of the world. These kids that were doing nothing more than walking home with a bag of Skittles, and they looked suspicious. They'll never make that walk. it's hard to talk about, but people need to realize that, like, the small inconvenience it is for them, it's like,
Right, yeah.
it's a life altering for somebody else.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart sometimes, even on social media. I've been trying to not be on social media very much because I've become like a keyboard warrior for a second. I'm all, I gotta take a break.
Yeah.
Because I see the things that people say, and it's like, oh, if they weren't criminals, and if you weren't breaking law, listen, I'm not a criminal, or at least I don't break the laws that I feel like matter. You know what I mean? And I damn well hope that if someone came and shot me in my house, you know what I mean, after they
Someone
broke down,
would be outraged.
exactly. If I was a Breonna Taylor and someone
Mm-hmm.
broke into or didn't knock, came into my house, murdered me in front of my family, and then arrested my boyfriend for attempted murder for trying to defend me, that someone would march and make somebody else's life uncomfortable because I'm not here.
Right. Yeah. I think there's also that moment where you've got the people that are like for it, even the people who don't fully understand it, but they're like, yes, this is wrong. I feel wrong about this, and I feel wrong if I don't say that I feel wrong about this. And then you've got the people who are like, well, the black people are criminals and they do this, and you've got that. And then you've got this like middle gray area, right, where people want to be on maybe this side, but then they go, you have all these people that are like, I'm sick of people saying these things. Can't we just be one race, the human race? And I'm like, oh, absolutely, we would love that. But we've got to like deal with the uncomfortable truths first, because we can't just continue to skip over to one race, the human race.
Exactly. We got to do a lot of work before we get to one race, human race.